T-Mobile gives you unlimited data with taxes and fees included, so you save hundreds a year. And get 2 lines for just $100 a month, all in with AutoPay. And right now, harness the power of unlimited with the Samsung Galaxy S8. It's the fastest Galaxy ever, so it deserves the fastest and most advanced LTE network. Why wait? Switch today, only at T-Mobile.
Top 3% of users greater than 30 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds. Price includes sales tax.
Blog Talk Radio.
Warning. You have entered the realms of the gods. So give us your mind and your full attention.
So you say you deal with esoteric information? I never heard of such. Well, you're in for a treat.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Alim El Bey dropping jewels every day.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Alim El Bey dropping jewels every day.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. So you claim to be a god? Damn right I'm a god. The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, father, civilization, god of the universe. Wow, I didn't know that. 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 So tune in or lose, friend. All strategies apply mathematically. The information he drop is real powerful. So get your notepad, it's more than an hour full. Watch your jaw, the crew is watching talk. Indigenous to the land wherever we stand. First world order, we bringing it home in the first quarter. Invisible lines don't apply, we cross borders. Silly rabbit, knowledge for gods. No matter where you reside, Lodge, Temple, or Mars. So don't fret or proceed with hesitation. Just tune in to Blog Talk to get the information. Peace. Whether you suffer from pain in your back to aches in your knees, come on down and purchase you some ancestral tea to get rid of all the parasites, toxins, and fleas. Spiritual elevation for cosmic gravitation. So put away the patience, cause there's no time to be wasted.
Ancestral tea, that's all you need. Ancestral tea,
So you better believe.
ancestral tea,
And it works for real.
ancestral tea,
So put away your pills.
ancestral tea,
That's all you need.
ancestral tea,
So you better believe.
ancestral tea,
And it works for real.
ancestral tea.
So put away your pills. This is a public commercial advertisement for AncestralTeas.com. All rights are reserved. Peace.
Peace. Back once again with your host, Dr. Alim El Bey. And tonight we got a special guest for you. This is Brother Tarhaka El Bey. He's going to be speaking on trust law, common law, and contract law. So I'm going to try to bring him on in here and apologize for the little lateness. We just getting in. We're going to try to get this going as soon as possible here. So let me pull in Brother Tarhaka.
What's going on, brother?
Peace. All right.
How am I coming
Apologize
across?
for the late-
Is it okay? That's all right. Is it? How am I coming across?
Perfect. Loud and clear.
Oh, all right. Good. How you want to cut this pie, man?
Hey, let's get into the trust information and then go into the common law and contract law. Let's see how we can work it all together.
Okay. Well, when it comes to trust law and the way we deal with it is we take it piece by piece. And what I mean by that is we start with identifying what trust we're going to use. There are many different types of trust. And it's pretty much based on what you want to do and how you want to structure your future and the future for your children and family members using a trust. And I am partial to. I'm partial to the irrevocable common law trust. That's my favorite.
Okay. Right. And why is that, Brother Tarhaka?
Well, in my opinion, based on what I've researched and studied, the irrevocable common law trust is the most powerful trust on the planet. And to fully grasp that, an individual has to get full knowledge of each player and their role in that particular trust. And because it covers the entire gambit. We want to clearly define the role of the grantor, clearly define the role of trustees, clearly define the roles of the executive secretary, clearly define the roles of the trust manager if you got one there. What role do the beneficiaries play in the trust, and what is the role of the trustees? The trust protector. And so with that structure and clearly defining each individual's roles and nailing that to contract, now you're able to function with all your backup systems in place. You're stating the rules and regulations and guidelines and laws in your indenture or your declaration of trust, and you're prepared to do whatever modifications that has to be done as the trust moves along.
Okay. Will you recommend doing a foreign 98?
A foreign 98? Well,
a foreign
again, that, huh?
Yeah.
Like a trust establishing one outside of the United States?
Right.
Okay, well, based on what I've learned from that, you're really going to have to make sure you got all your bases covered on that, because there are a lot of things that you could run into. For instance, you could have that trust set out there, some offshore banking or what have you, or some offshore investments and stuff, but you're dealing with trustees that's native to the land or what have you, and they may not speak the same language. And, then they're not willing to come to the United States. When you run into problems with the authorities here in the country, especially Internal Revenue Service. So I'm not saying that you can't do that and you shouldn't do it, but if you're going to consider that, you have to make sure that all the bases are covered and you thoroughly have confidence throughout the entire trust and everything is set up so that everybody is, because it all deals with the word trust. And so, in my opinion, the most powerful trust is structure, or the glue to that irrevocable common law trust would be a family structure.
Okay. What's some of the laws of which that you have found gathering around that, Brother Tarhaka?
Could you say that again?
I was saying, what are some of the laws in which that you have gathered and that you have found concerning trust law in concern to a irrevocable common law or express trust?
Okay. Now, when we're talking about an express trust, we're talking about a whole different thing. They have some similarities, but I always go over this chart with my clients so they'll clearly understand the structure of what's going on inside the United States and make sure that operates within the confines of the trust. If they can understand the structure, for instance, you take the difference between state citizen and federal citizen. A state citizen had unalienable rights which derive from the Creator, versus a federal citizen has civil rights which derives from Congress. The state man is a free man. Congress is a subject. The federal individual is a subject. The state citizen is a de jure citizen under common law, whereas a federal citizen is a de facto citizen under arbitrary equitable jurisdiction. A state citizen, again, is protected from the federal government by the federal Constitution and the Bill of Rights, whereas the federal citizen has limited protection under the 14th Amendment. State citizen owes allegiance to the contract, the government, or the Constitution, but none to the foreign corporation of the District of Columbia or its municipal laws. The federal citizen owes allegiance to income, which is income tax, to the federal government because of the benefits derived, such as civil rights, Social Security, et cetera, et cetera. And the state citizen is a free citizen, whereas the federal citizen is a franchise of the federal corporation. So if we understand both sides of that fence, and you are able to make sure that your beneficiaries clearly understand that, the trustees understand that, everybody within the confines of your construct understand that, then you're able to function pretty good with a trust.
Okay.
Those are just a few of the foundational rules that we deal with when it comes to dealing with trust. Trust is a very, very powerful thing. If it's run properly, everybody is benefits. The best. Most people would think that the beneficiaries come out best because they're able to inherit through the trust. However, the most beneficial product that the beneficiaries will receive from trust is knowledge.
Okay.
And the irrevocable common law trust is good for over 25 years. So you got plenty of time to get that education and know how to keep that trust going.
Okay. And of course, with the Rockefellers and them, I know that they have over like 204 some odd different trusts.
That's correct.
Either irrevocable common law trust, something in which that you think that they used a lot of, as far as the
the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys. Now the Getty, he was a pretty sharp, shrewd character. But the Rockefellers, what they're able to do, see, once you learn how to utilize a trust, then you are able to identify how you can set up other trusts to function in different areas. If you're going to say you're gonna purchase a oil distillery or refinery, but you're gonna need to set up a pipeline, and you're gonna need ships for distribution, and so you might want to set up a different type of trust to handle that. And that's what I was talking about understanding each individual's role in the trust. You got trustee number one, who's the head trustee, and this guy, he specializes, we'll say, in oil refinery and distribution. You got trustee number two, he specializes in international trade. So you got all these powerful figures, and the most powerful thing that they have, or the most valuable thing that they're bringing to the table, is knowledge.
Right.
So they may decide to say, well, we're going to set this up as a corporation, a certain type of corporation. Then we may turn around and just do an express trust on it, or we may set it up because of where it's located or whatever. We might want to do an ecclesiastical trust. We may, it depends on once you know the operations of trust and you're successful with trust, the type of trust that you're going to use for each operation that you're going to be doing, and to be able to funnel the wealth, maintain control over the trust, and maintain stability for the beneficiaries.
Okay, so would a trust necessarily be tax exempt?
Well, that depends on the type of trust that you're setting up. If you, we'll use a ecclesiastical trust. some form of religious trust, or a religious organization that set up a trust within the confines of their institution. Of course, we know that the church is exempt from taxes, but there's nothing in the world to keep them from setting up a trust. You follow me?
Right.
So there's so many different trusts. It's just a matter of choosing. But before you choose, a person should thoroughly understand the mechanics of a trust, how it functions. Okay. The grantor of the trust, he can't go down there messing with the money. He can't be writing no checks. That's somebody going to jail. And so that's why it's set up as a trust. And you want to make sure that the people that you have in the trust are professionals. That lends stability to the trust. If you got a trust manager, his job is to make sure that he's scouting for other business opportunities to invest in the trust, to invest to make sure that the trust is profitable. And he always has to be in conjunction with the executive secretary because she's recording everything. She's not going in a courtroom to deal with any law, but she is aware of everything that's going on with the trust, and she is keeping the records of the trust. And she's keeping the minutes of the meetings. That's very, very important. You got to have the minutes of the meetings, and that's part of the record of how the trust is functioning.
Okay. So when we're talking about, so basically a trust would be run similar to a corporation then, in that regard.
Well, a trust is a trust. However, a trust can function with part of its tentacles being a corporation. But in my opinion, that will always seem to be temporary when you're dealing with trust, because you understand that you don't want to build your trust on the fact that you're trying to avoid or evade taxes. You want to make sure that there's purity throughout your trust. And so when you say corporation, now we're talking about an arm of the trust. A trust, in my opinion, based on what I know about a trust does not function like a corporation.
Right.
That's just my opinion based on what I know. I have a couple of books that quite a few books on trust, but my most the ones I like the most is Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Passing the Buck, The Art of Passing the Buck. And they give you.
Okay, so what would be the best? What would be the best way in order to run a trust then? Since we're talking on basically of a trustee board, of course we know that there has to be a trust, there has to be trustees, as well as also beneficiaries. So how would that be ran? In your point of view.
Well, let's use an example. We'll say that we'll just take the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay, Noble Drew Ali set up a trust, and it's my understanding that he set up an express trust. Okay, so we got Moorish temples all over the United States, and so if I was the we'll say if I was the advisor to a trust or agent to a trust, just as an advisor, what I would do is I would gather the heads of each temple, and they would be the grantors of the trust. Then I would get the sharpest men second in line or what have you as the trustees that will be educated by lawful and legal professionals. Then I would select secretaries, and this is from each temple, secretaries from each temple to record the information, to share information, to make sure that the records come out right across the board. And of course, the remainder of the largest portion of that trust would be the members, the regular members of the temple. They will be the beneficiaries of the temple, and then we could function as a trust because the trustees, their job is to handle all the business ends, do what they are supposed to do, their duties as the trust. But the grantors oversee the trust and provide wisdom and knowledge to the members of the trust, including the beneficiaries.
Okay. So,
but everything is on contract.
So, but I understand. So, when you look at what Prophet Noble Drew Ali set up as far as the Moorish Temple of America, him and everyone else's signature upon that 1099, in which I was filed in Cook County, they were the trustees.
Okay. I haven't gotten a look at it, but if I look at it and I look at the signatures on there, I can pretty much identify the position that each individual carried.
Okay.
So it would seem to me that if Noble Drew Ali set the express trust, it had to be the grantor of the trust, and he had to have people in line to be the trustees and the secretaries and so on and so forth. But we know who the beneficiary is.
Right. Okay. Well, you talked about the irrevocable. How does the irrevocable common law trust compare to the revocable common law trust?
Okay, so that's two different trusts. Both of them are powerful in their own scope. If you're going to have things going on in the trust that expire, if you're going to dissolve the trust at a certain point in time in history, you have, according to the rules, you can do that because it is a revocable trust. But you still run into the dangers of scrutiny by the powers that be. A irrevocable trust is not recorded with the county. It's not public record. It is private. It is a private trust, and it functions as a private trust, opposed to other trusts that had to be recorded, and so on and so forth. And when you got a will, when you take a trust versus a will is always subject to probate. When you hear about a lot of famous people, recording artists and so on, and they're fighting over their estate and stuff, well, they had a will set up, and they're fighting over the proceeds, and usually the court ends up, and lawyers ends up with the majority of the money. But when you set up a trust, if you got a will, you install that will in the trust. It's held by trust. You see, so that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay.
See, each individual, all the trustees, they got their role. They got their duties. The grantor has already told them, well, this individual can do this. You have the power to do this. You have the power to do that. You have the power to do this. You're responsible for this, that, and the other. You're signing the checks. You're doing investments. You're doing the scouting. That's your job. If you got two trustees and they got a dispute, well, that's where the trust protector comes in. He settles all disputes.
Okay.
So
that's his role. No, I was going to ask. So that's his role, is to extinguish any controversy or naysay. Yes.
Yeah. Anything that comes up internally and externally involving that trust, his job is to protect the trust. He sells all ties. If they voting, well if it's a tie, he says if we got a trustee that's supposed to be terminated with a trust protector, he steps in. If the secondary trustee, if the first or secondary trustee have a problem, if there's some embezzlement or what have you, the trust protector steps in and says, "Hey man, that's that. Gotta go."
Right.
All that's written in the all that's written on the contracts. Everybody got a copy of the contract. Everybody understand everybody's position in the contract in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that goes with that irrevocable common law trust. I keep talking about that because that's my favorite.
But that's the favorite one. Right, I got you. All right, so what would you write up along with that trust, since it's not going to be put on the county or anywhere and it's private? How would that be set up in that sense?
Well, once you do up your declaration of trust, everything in that declaration, which in that, by the way, should be, in my opinion, no less than 35 pages. That covers, even if you have a skeleton of a trust, that covers the expansion of the trust. That covers new people coming into the trust. That covers what will happen after the grantor passes on. That happens. That will define for you what happens if there's theft or embezzlement, or if the head trustee dies. All of that information is recorded in that indenture. When you have a secretary, what happens? What is to take place if the secretary passes? What happens when who elects another trust protector if something happens to him? All of this information is recorded in that declaration of trust. Everything from start to finish is spelled out. And once it is hammered out and nailed on the paper, then you want to get several opinions from top professionals before you declare that a functioning trust. That's how important the Declaration of Trust is, because we're talking about a serious operation.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, all right, you said this particular type of trust lasts about 25 years.
Yeah. It's good for 25 years. That is my understanding. That can be renewed on that anniversary date.
Okay.
That's why it's so important for you when you setting this thing up, that the beneficiaries are right there with the grantors. They're right at the feet of the grantors. They're learning. They're learning what everybody's role is. They're standing back. They're watching. They're learning how to invest. They're learning from the trustees. They're learning from the secretary. They're learning from the trust protector. They're learning from everybody. So as time go on and the main players begin to leave this life, they're able to function and keep that shield of protection and will it from generation to generation to generation, just like the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Rockefellers. Their trusts are still in existence today. They are eternal.
Right. So, Brother Tarhaka, all right, so what can you do with a irrevocable common law trust? Once everything is put together, what you just stated, what can you do? You said something about investments. How far can you take this common law trust?
Well, you can take that into infinity. Let's take the position of two parties. We'll take the grantor of the trust. He's the overseer of the operation. In order for him to set up a trust, he's got to be willing to relinquish his estate into the hands of another man that is supposed to be trusted, called a trustee. All right? From that point forward, the trustee's duty is to make sure that the trust remains healthy, it remains functional. He can relinquish. He can hire people. He can fire people. He can interact with the trust manager, whose job is to go out for investments, fuel the trust, the whole ball of wax. But the structure is set up where the grantor does not come down because he felt like the trustee didn't do his job and say, well, look, I'm going to start doing your job, and I'm going to start signing checks and stuff like that, because what he's going to have to do is restructure the trust. If he's doing that, he may have to even dissolve the trust and start a new trust.
Okay. All right. So, I guess, we definitely talked about the trust and common law. Is there anything else that you want to get on as far as the common law is concerned before we get to the contract law?
Well, when we talk about common law, we had to clearly define that. Common law goes all the way back to nature, to what you were born with. You see, when people say, well, they're asking, well, are you a U.S. citizen? Well, no, right. I'm a Floridian. I'm a Floridian. Now, me personally, I follow the teachings of what the prophet said. The prophet said, I have brought you everything, take it and save yourself. He also said, don't flag your ID before you appear because it causes confusion. So everything involving my identity and nationality, which is one and the same, is private, is copyrighted, is patented, is protected, and is held in a protected bubble. Now, in the event that I'm denationalized, a victim of denationalization or something in that manner, then I will be able to open up that Pandora's box, so to speak. But in the meantime, I'm a Floridian. I was born here, I was raised here, and this is where I'm domiciled. I don't have property. I live in a home. I'm domiciled here, and I'm in Jacksonville Territory in Florida Republic. All rights reserved without prejudice, UCC 1-308. And that's how I function in commerce. If I have to do anything in involving a debt collector, or if I'm dealing with some type of official or whatever, these are the credentials.
Okay.
So that's how I deal with. I'm a citizen of the state in which I was born, not a corporate fiction. I'm not dead. I'm alive. I'm not in the cemetery with a gravestone on top of me. That's chiseled in all capital letters indicating the dead, because every gravestone out there is indicated the same way. So I'm not there. So that means that when you contact me and address me as a corporate fiction, you got a wrong man. So we have to deal with that first before we talk about anything else.
Right. So
now, I do have.
Does this nationality comes in at as far as being able to, if you was brought into court, of course, as they say, God forbid, if you did have to go to court, this is now when you could bring in nationality in which that you could bring up jurisdiction?
Well, yeah, there are people that do that, but I deal with, my strategy is somewhat different. It's my understanding that I don't flash my ID before you appear, so what I'll do is I make sure that the fight is over before I ever get in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, because if I run into a man out in the streets and that man say, well, you are you turn right at a red light and you cut on your blinker. Well, my first question is, well, you. All right. Well, who you gonna deal with? Because that's the first thing we're gonna deal with. You dealing with a man, or you dealing with some corporate figure somewhere. So the first thing I want to do is I'm gonna get some clarity from your superiors by contract, and I'll have my position clearly spelled out, and that way we're able to deal with that long before we ever get in a courtroom.
Yeah.
Now I got a document here that I recently had to use not too long ago, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And it was involving some taxes, and I really, when I used this, I really didn't get a chance to use the second document, because actually the second and third document is the one I really wanted to use. The first one was to go out, just to go out and test the waters. I'm gonna show you what that sounds like. But the main one that I wanted to use, I didn't get a chance to use that before they told me that they had the wrong guy. So I'll show you what it looked like. Just hold on 1 second. Let me get that up so you understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'll be coming up here right here in a minute. First of all, I'm no, that's not what I want right there. Okay, I got it right here. All right, this document is a notice of counteroffer and counter demand. What happened was, I was sitting in there in the living room on the computer, and I saw this car pull up out in front of the house. And the guy sat there for the longest. He said. He's looking at me, I'm looking at him. So finally, I got about the chair. I felt it might have been somebody out there just on the phone or whatever, and I went in the back. And when I came back out, I didn't stay for a few minutes. When I come back out, he was gone. And I just happened to glance over there at the gate, and I seen this piece of paper sticking out under the no trespassing sign on the gate. And so I went and got it off, and it was the people for the tax collector officers. They told me, they said, well, your taxes is due. If you don't pay your taxes, your house will be sold on X amount of days. I said, well, okay, let me get you, and let's go at this. So I got it and brought it in the house and set it on the table. I said, well, I'll get to you. But before I did, the mailman come up and then he bought me a letter from the same people and saying the same thing. So what I did is I took it and made copies of it, and I took the counterclaim because it was addressed to the wrong man. That's the first thing we had to deal with. And then I went on into acceptance of his offer because he was telling me that I owe him X amount of dollars, and but he was telling the wrong man that he owed him. So I had to get that straightened out. So this is what I sit back. It says notice counter demand, and this is for the gentleman I address it to. First, I address it to the company and attention to the gentleman. And and I can't. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do. Okay, I got it right here. But anyway, the letter goes like this. It says, please read the following notice thoroughly and carefully before responding. It is a notice. It informs you. It means what it says. The reason why you need to read carefully is simple. I'm offering conditional agreement. This removes controversy and means that you no longer have any ultimate recourse to a court of law. in this matter because there is no controversy upon which it could adjudicate. You always have the option of dragging these conditions into a court of law only to be told that they are indeed perfectly lawful. That is, of course, always your prerogative should you desire to waste your time. For this reason, it is important that you consider and respond to the offer in substance. The interest official form will not suffice, and consequently, it is likely to be ignored by myself without any dishonor on my part. On the other hand, there is a time limit on this agreement being offered. It is reasonable, and if it runs out, then you and all your associate parties are in default, removing any and all lawful excuse on your part from proceeding in this matter. And then I go on to go down in the rest and put my fee schedule in there, let him know how much damages and all of that, and then I put an attachment there for him to rebut and put in the self-addressed stamped envelope that I have provided and send this back to me with a full rebuttal to the acceptance of your offer, which is non-negotiable, by the way. Right. And but then after I sent that to him, I was using my general post and I didn't get a chance to get his response on time so that I can time it and go directly into my default notice. But the default notice was ready. I did call over there and they told me, oh yes, it's here. We'll go ahead and we'll fax this over to you. So when I got that, I said, well, okay, since he's responded and surrendered, then I will go ahead and scrap the default notice that I was going to send, which states out the entire fraud involving any mortgage in America and taxes. So, but I didn't get a chance to send that to him. But anyway, that was the end of that. No court, and I didn't even have to tell him I was a Moor. So that's how I deal with it. It doesn't matter what I'm dealing with. I'm going to deal with who they're addressing. Because it's, you're it's dealing with a man of fiction, a proper noun or an improper noun. It's just English, as I've always done.
So with that, brother Tarhaka, would you have a copyright, trademark, trade name?
Yeah.
Done is on your name in all caps, which is your birth name.
No. I don't need that. I put that on the sacred title. See, prior to me coming into the knowledge that I had been denationalized and I was never given a proper name reflecting my nationality and culture, that became sacred to me. So that's been protected since I first started using it. That is my name, and it is connected to my nationality and my pedigree. So that's what's protected. See, the title on the birth certificate, that's a European family. Yeah, so I that's what they want to try to deal with. Well, we deal with that. But as soon as I see the word black, then we got a problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. I got you.
I remember one time, it was a good while back, I was downtown in the jailhouse, and I had already sent the sheriff to my little paperwork and stuff, and when I got down there, I noticed that all the other inmates, on their paperwork, they had raised black. On my paperwork, it didn't even have the word raised. On no paperwork from beginning to end I said, okay. I said, boy, look here. I was looking at every piece of paper they were typing up. I said, I need a copy of that. I need a copy. He said, okay. He gave me a copy of it, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking for something. He said, well, I don't know what you're looking for, but that's the paperwork you're asking for. But everybody in there had it except me. All I needed was a copy of it. On contract, that's all I needed. All you do is put it on paper one time. Because I didn't get now scrap or nothing. So it's up to each individual, and I try to encourage people to read and learn how to deal with individuals, especially as debt collectors or whatever. You know, you want to win that before you ever go into a courtroom. The fight should be over before you ever go in there. And it ain't about it's not so much about the documents. It's about you knowing who you are. Right. And if you know that, then you can if you know who you are, then you can do some things.
Sure.
No people know when I file this document here and I file that document, and they ain't done that yet. And then, well, wait a minute, hold on a minute. The document you filed first of all, have you read half of them? Do you do you know any information in it? Can you recite any of it in it without looking at the document? What is it that you got a contract? What is it that you know about your contract that you can tell somebody about? So that's what happens when you are dealing with contract law. If you understand the whole country operates on contract law.
Sure did. Isn't the Constitution itself a trust or contract based on contract law? I said, isn't the Constitution itself a trust based on contract law?
Yeah, that's right. It's a trust document. Has signatures on it. Right. It's in writing. It's on paper, on parchment. Yeah, it's a contract. But the thing is, our problem is, a lot of us, we have been accepting everybody else's contract and panicking instead of learning the game and sending our own contracts the other way and enforcing them. And you bring a debt into question, they're making you an offer, go ahead and accept the offer. A counter offer, make your counter offer non-negotiable. Cover yourself. You put your fee schedule in there. You can get your case law put in there if you want to, and put your attachment in there, and tell them when you're going to need them to rebut the affidavit, and send it to them certified mail with a time limit on it, and you ready to roll. If they don't respond at all, just give you a certificate of service, a certificate of non-response, stick it in a folder with the date and time that you sent, that you did it, because they didn't respond, and go on to your next default notice. And every time they don't respond behind a notice, do a certificate of non-response and slip it in that folder and stick it in between them documents. Then take the whole thing down there if you want to file, and file.
Indeed. Right. So, based on the Constitution, it says that that we can contract is on our own free will, I guess, as much as possible if we so choose to.
Yeah.
What's the size of your contract law in that regard?
Well, the United States, the United States does not have an out-of-gration quota. Anybody is free to go. The United States does not interfere with your right to make contracts.
Right.
I created identification. I created my own license plate to put on my on my vehicle with that understanding. And the cops, they were trying to figure out what was going on and stuff. And I told them, I said, well, you know, the United States doesn't interfere with a man's right to make contracts. Yeah, but that's illegal. I said, I ain't telling you about legal or illegal. I'm talking to you about the law. Well, we're enforcing the law. I said, no, you ain't. You're enforcing public policy in the region. You ain't no officer of the law. Boy, look here. You should have seen him. I felt kind of sorry for him. Cause when I told him, he said, we ain't even no officer of the law. Because they ain't. They got rules and regulations, statutes and ordinances are just that. Statutes and ordinances don't have anything to do with law. All law derived from nature. Real law.
Yeah, sure indeed.
I was over to a friend's house today, and they had the TV on the news. And they came out with this thing because they got the manatee in the river, and the police gonna be out in full force. They gonna be writing tickets, and if you ain't slowing down and you speeding through this area where you see them signs at, we gonna pull you over. We gonna check to see if you got life jackets in your boat and give you a ticket, a $93 ticket for almost. Being in a position to injure a manatee, and they'll just getting out of the ticket, and all the people getting the ticket, and the people on the news, they tell, well, you know, they're gonna be out enforcing the law, and I'm like, what? Law? What you talking about? And all the people, they under the pressure that they are it's all lawful. No, it ain't.
That's how they've been trained to think.
I tell you what, you need to look up a case. I don't know. You probably already checked it out. Frank Knowles. You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Frank Knowles.
Okay.
You remember what happened with him?
Mm-hmm.
He had done told him in the courtroom. He said, "Hey, look here, man. This is my land. You ain't got no jurisdiction over here." And he beat him down up in there. And this man had done. I think it was kill a deer, and the deer went over on his property and died. And the man tried to come over there and retrieve the deer. He said, "You can't come over my land and get the deer." And my deer, and I shot him, and you know I could do this. He said, "You can't get nothing over him on my land." Well, I'll call the authorities and say, "You go call him." And they called him, and the state troopers came out there and told us, "Hey, you can't go on that land, and we can't either." And he called it FBI. The FBI told him the same thing. We can't go on there either. Frank Knowles, right there on Google. Matter of fact, let me look in here. I can bring up the let me see. Okay, I should have it right here. Okay, where is it? I got it right in here. On Mr. Frank Knowles. The case out in California. I think it's 305. Let me see. I'll find it here in a minute. But anyway, studying the common law is very, very important. Where is it? Voluntary dismissal. Federal zone. But anyway, I'll find it.
Okay.
But that boy messed him up pretty good, man. he shut them down because they was people were saying, well, you know, you can't own land in America. Frank Knowles did. He on here.
Right.
But that's the route that I take.
Indeed.
When dealing with them. No argument, no muss, no fuss. You say, oh, you're dead. You say, I'm this, that, and the other. You know, and you know, let me know who you talking to, and
right.
all of that stuff. And then we can
right.
we can take it from there. Sound like your phone breaking up a little bit.
I was saying, so it's basically conditional accepted for value.
Well, you accepting the offer everything. See, first of all, there's no money in America, and so when somebody call you and tell you, "Oh, I'm dead," all you got to do is ask them a question. You know, because I got a list of questions here. I asked. I said, "Well, are you asking me to pay you in Federal Reserve notes, which is property that belongs to someone else, and in this case, the Federal Reserve Bank? Is that what you asking me for, or are you asking me to give you silver or gold?" Now, I don't know if it's illegal either way he does it. But if you say I owe you a debt, I'm trying to pay it. I just need to know how you want it. And if you, I got one question here. It says, please provide a copy of the two-party contract containing both parties' signature regarding the alleged debt owed to you or your employers. Print your name here. Sign your name underneath that. The next question is, as a secure party and acting in private and in honor, I have to ask if you or your employers are asking me, a living man, to give you property for payment belonging to someone else, in this case, the Federal Reserve Bank. If so, print your name here and sign underneath. The next question is, if a living man or a living woman need permission to travel upon the land referred to as the United States of America, please indicate. Print your name here, sign your name here. Please use the self-addressed stamped envelope to return this filled out signed document along with all requested attachments as your proof of an existing debt. The next question is, please provide proof of any valid two-party contract with signatures which compels me, a living man, to give the clerk of court, agent so-and-so, any real monies in the form of silver or gold for the alleged debt in amount of $1,100 as stated by your office or secretary on or about the such and such a date. Sign your name here, print your name here. Please provide a proof of claim to all points listed in this notice of counter offer, counter demand, a debt settlement, and full rebuttal to lawful affidavit. See Exhibit A2. Please use the self-addressed stamped envelope provided for your full rebuttal. And so on and so forth. Furthermore, I claim that the intentional blurring of the lines with smoke and mirrors, deception, outright lies are too numerous to mention. False claims as to the well-settled division between the Crown and the United States Corporation create a legal entity known as a person, and the flesh and blood creation of the Creator known as a man is nothing short of theft, fraud, breach of trust, and forced slavery, a heinous criminal activity of the most odious form. If you clearly understand this point, please put your name here and sign here. And then I go on and I'll go ahead and get that baby signed, stamped, and notarized, and I'll send it on over there to them, certify me with return receipt, and I'll mark it on my calendar so I can get a full rebuttal. And if you're not willing to do that, then we're all down up in default and all that. And we're ready to bring it to the table then. But that's where the fight begins and ends right there.
Right there. Is with your consent. Because that's how I said with your consent. Because that's how they get over is by the consent factor.
Well, yeah. They have, but all of them, we had to remember all of them only have limited liability. What you want to do is put them on notice of the fact that you have full liability. All rights reserved without prejudice, UCC 1-308. You're taking full responsibility for your property. And if you got any contract with them, they need to provide it.
Indeed.
If they are assuming that I owe them a debt because they call it fiction, they assumed against the wrong man because we got a problem.
Gotcha.
It's all on contract. It's all lawful. Ain't got nothing to do with legal. All lawful.
Okay, so it's not legal, it's lawful. And tell us about that. What's the difference between legal and lawful? You know, can something be
lawful goes all the way back to through nature to the Creator. Legal is all man-made, rules, regulations, guidelines, and that has only to do with federal employees or federal citizens. Or citizens of the United States, which is a corporation. That doesn't have anything to do with a man or a woman. Yeah, that's how that goes. The legal statutes and ordinances are just what they say they are. Statutes and ordinances. They ain't got nothing to do with law. Not one single thing. I asked a judge one time, he had me, how you plead? I said, well, I want to plead not guilty because I just want to be given the opportunity to come back in this building to lay on the table the difference between legal and lawful. When I told him that, he said, I'll be right back. Got up, went in the back. And I got to figure out what to do with him. I can't lose up in here with that. I got to 6 foot back. So he looked like he's ready. So what he did, he said, look, you got all these charges down here. You're going to have to come back down here on each one of these charges. I said, okay, you got me. Because I ain't got that kind of time. So I plead no contest. He said, all right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw it all out. Get you out your truth. You learn the difference between legal and lawful, not illegal and legal. That's you dealing with two sides of the same apple. You want two different apples. There's lawful, and then there's legal. And you wanna master knowing the difference between both of them. And everything that I deal with, when I deal with them, I only deal with them with the law. The law don't show up in the courtroom until you do. You bring on the law.
True.
So it depends on what kind of law you want to bring.
Yeah.
How you gonna bring it?
Okay.
People just have different ways, but you don't want to get down. Don't run the risk of bogging down into the legal aspect of nothing.
Right.
You want to make sure you deal with law, and then you be all right.
Right.
You got 3 different branches inside the United States. You got the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and the executive branch in the United States. When we learn everything that we could possibly learn about common law, then we can do a whole lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have also learned how to mess with folk, and especially when they see the law coming, they try to shut the door on you, keep them getting in there with it. Because you know they can't nothing they can do with that. Can't do nothing with that. Not when the law, not when you coming out with the law.
Right. We're gonna go out, come back in, Brother Tarhaka. We're gonna play your commercial here. And in order to try
you got
to
one of my commercials? Okay, well go ahead. Let me hear this here.
And afterwards,
okay.
And continue on with the discussion about contract law.
Okay.
One more time. Our foreclosure killer package not only comes along with the necessary documents that you need, but also your very own personal coach to walk you through the process of saving your home. If you've been foreclosed on already, or if you've received documents stating that you'll be foreclosed on, or if you are already in the court fighting a foreclosure, contact Tarhaka Amaana El Bey, 904-303-9061. Also visit our website at www.newdebtelimination.com. Stop foreclosure on your property. Let's stop this unlawful practice. Contact me, 904-303-9061, before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Yeah, ATG, above the dome, trap of freedom, it's family, tradition, heritage, the missing links, spiritual miracles, the awakenings, the walking sphinx, it's time to eat, food for thought, it's the meta magician, holy rainwater, flows off my altar, channel through the seasons, elevate the reasons. What's the purpose of life to the living, death to the conscious? At the end of days, clash of the titans, zombies running rampant, Christ in the pamper, looking for a lamp, revving at the church, plugging in the amp, rock of the ages, son of the undead, vamping, immortal rage. I bleed red ink on the page, words and truth, no signature, to the blur. From invisible literature, sitting at the dock of the bay with Otis, having rituals, turn the lights off, it can get real quick, sir. Melting pot mix, I'm in search for a fix, walking backwards, looking forwards, patiently waiting, don't ignore it, holding two swords like peace signs aimed at your board. Want to be caught in the trap of freedom? Do you want to be lost in the trap of freedom? To light, walk into flight, hawk eyesight, interdimensional terabytes, fuel for the journey, some late a few for the gurney, colored in the book of law, no need for attorneys, I turn the page, feel the script like a doctor coming out the cage, I'm the lion, fed grain, sticks and stones, no pain, a worker's only worth his gain, attempting to keep my inner sane, with lifestyle changes, high than mountain plains, 7 thoughts, 7 vaults, no faults, who's to blame? It ain't the same, they take your names, I feel the sun, it ain't no fun if the homie can't have none, I see you run like Hussein lightning, it seems frightening, exciting, I go with streaming lightning, I'm the Nickelodeon at night. You want to be caught in the trap of freedom? Do you want to be lost in the trap of freedom? Do you want to be way above yet so below. The permanency of non-movement. ATV, above the dome. Trap of freedom. Blackwater, the metal magician. Mad scientist on the track. Peace.
All right, we back with Brother Tarhaka. We're talking tonight on trust law, common law, and contract law. All right, we're going to get back into the contract law. First, you got to give to us, Brother Tarhaka.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
One thing I want to say about contracts is that is a very, 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 very important thing for everybody to understand. Everything you do in this country, it's a serious involves a contract. You cannot go into exit jail without a contract. You can't deal with voting without a contract. You can't even die and go to the morgue and go to the cemetery without a contract. I mean, everything operates on contract. Everything does. You go to the grocery store, you want to buy.
Always see some new, but you always see some new more, Brother Tarhaka, who just came in talking about you don't need no paperwork. You don't need none of that.
Okay, well,
what you got
the thing is, I've talked to him and stuff, and what we got to understand is you got to look at the situation that everybody in the United States is in. First of all, the sheriff department don't know nothing about law.
Right.
Police officers don't know nothing about law. You got lawyers and attorneys that don't know nothing about law. And I knew that for a fact because I've sat right down across the table from him and put a inch and a half thick documents on the table about mortgages, and he picked it up and he looked through it. He says some of this stuff I've seen before, but there's a lot of this stuff in here I ain't never seen before. And so I said, well, you supposed to know all of that because you're a lawyer. He said, shit, I doubt that. They ain't taught me none of this in school because they're not teaching them the law.
They're not teaching the law.
So you have to educate yourself and just remember what the prophet said. He brought everything to you. Take it and save yourself. We got this thing where we looking for somebody to save us. No, you got eyes, ears, nose, mouth. You can talk. You got to read, study, and understand, and formulate your contracts or understand your contracts and be able to put them somewhere and be able to use them. If you're not willing to read and understand, it's going to be very, very difficult for you.
Yeah.
So contract is contract is it. That's why they came out with the Uniform Commercial Code. That's it. That's the Bible of business in the country.
Right.
Because the law, the law. When you're talking about the law, you're talking about dealing with men and women. Now I got this. I found this thing on Frank Knowles here. All the listeners have to do is just type into Google ex parte, EX.PARTE, Frank Knowles, KNOWLES, and it's found at the number 5 and then CAL, CAL dot reports 300 in parentheses 1855. And this is what he's stating in there. This was his defense in there. Frank Knowles says that technically speaking, there is no such thing as a citizen of the United States, and explains why. One must first be a citizen of a state, and by reason of this citizenship, one is then a citizen of the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Frank Knowles say. Okay. Now, if we look at all of the people that look like me and you inside the state that you live in and inside the state that I live in, before I even knew anything about or more, I was considering myself a man. So I want to know how or when is it, and when did it happen that when I became a Moor, I stopped being a man?
Exactly.
So that is the first thing, in my opinion. Now, this is just my opinion. This is the way I go at it, and then after that, whatever comes after that, then I deal with that. We got all these folks out there battling. I'm not a U.S. corporate citizen. Okay, well, if you ain't, then what are you? And explain why you are that. If you say you are more, then what is it that makes you a Moor? What is the historicity that you know that makes you a Moor?
Right.
And it seems to be kind of difficult for a lot of people to understand that before you learn anything about contract law, before you get out there with jurisdiction and status and all that stuff, the most important thing you need to know is who are you, and your ancient story, because that's where your power at.
Yeah.
You want to know that first.
Indeed.
That short circuits a whole lot of stuff. Just know who you are.
Right.
And then you reflect that in your correspondence to debt collectors. You're dealing with debt collectors or people trying to foreclose you and stuff like that. Wait a minute, hold on. You know, you got it a little bit twisted there. Let me put this here down and chew on that a little while. So that's very, very important, is knowing who you are. I don't know if you listen to this lady. Her name is Mary Croft. You ever listen to Mary Croft?
She's the one who goes
okay.
The corporate bureaucrats.
Yeah. Boy, she got she weigh him out, boy. She said she had one of them called. She had to mess him up so bad. She had them beat Chase Manhattan Bank down to the dirt, and they turned over the stuff to a little third party debt collector. They come contacting her. She said, "What you contact me? I just got through beating your boss, and then what you gonna do?" She put a whammy on him, boy. And she tell you quick. It's all about knowing who you are.
Yeah, indeed.
Men and women. Third. And that's what I had to add about the contract. You know, you want to study the contracts. If you're setting up a trust, study other indentures. You can, if you get the right material, you can study some of the declarations of trust of some of the most powerful trusts that's set up on the planet. And you see how they set up, and you can go ahead and start structuring your stuff. And when you start structuring your stuff, then your stuff is good. If you're gonna use a trust, it's all about business. And we sure got to learn the difference between religion and spiritualism. We got to get that understood too.
Indeed.
And you have another question?
Let's go to the phone lines. Let's see. Any questions? Anyone who has any questions, give us a call at 563-999-3738. That's 563-999-3738. 3738. All right, give us a call. Let me see. No, Brother Tarhaka, there's no questions right now. But I can ask you about this. When you look at common law, you know that some states do operate under common law.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that you over there beeping?
Yeah. All right. So when we look at some states operate under common law. A lot of states don't operate under common law. So, you know, what do you think about that? Like, for example, in North Carolina, General Statute 4-1 states that North Carolina operates under common law.
Okay.
You know, some states don't. Like, for example, Ohio, even though Virginia is said to be a common law wealth state, they don't operate under common law like that. So, I mean, what would be some of the things you say as far as being able to operate under contract law?
Well, what I would, in any state that I'm in, I'm in that state as a man. And when you say common law, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. If I'm in that state, I'm in that state as a man. I'm not trying to go in and figure out whether or not they're gonna let me be a man or not. You know, I just stack it up and then put it together and just go ahead and file me a lawsuit so I can lay the law out on the table.
All right.
I don't know no states in the United States that can that's prepared in a courtroom to deal with a man lawfully.
Right.
I don't know no place like that. If there was somebody that took me to a courthouse talking about I don't want my debt, I'd go in there with one piece of paper and say, well, look, I'm here to settle this matter. I just need you to sign it right here, clearly showing that I owe you this debt. I got a bag of silver right here. Take a few pieces out and put it on the table and say how many you need.
Right.
Now, if he touched that silver, he's going to jail. If he signed that paper, the judge will drop his head and start shaking his head and say, boy, he's stupid. Oh, yeah, man, you tell me, say, well, how do you plead? I ain't here to, no plea. I'm here to settle a tax matter. But you got to know, my favorite, one of the favorites that I like to listen to is Brother Carl Lentz. And the reason why I'm saying this is I'm not saying because the Moors, they got the shutdown. But the problem is everybody that is a Moor don't know how to use it.
Right. That's true.
You see, that's the problem. So to keep them from going up in there and with it, and ain't ready, half cocked and all of that, let's learn something else. And that you can use until you master the other stuff, or you get in a position to use other stuff. Let's use what's available to you as a man or a woman, and then we can do some things and be successful at some things. It's all about achieving something.
Right.
You don't want to go out all messed up, so and so. Noble Drew Ali said so. People looking at you like that. Who? Who you talking about? We looking about that boy. You go in jail. You got you got to be able to lay stuff down. I had the Grand Sheik of Temple number 13 on the show the other day, and he had it set together. He showed them the lawyers and stuff to document and said, man, can't touch you. But everybody don't know that. So if you don't know that, don't be going out half-cocked because you just found out you a Mo, don't know nothing about your ancient story, can't even hardly spell the word history that good, and standing up in them folk courtroom telling me I'm a Mo. You can't do this to me. You can't. All that foolishness. Come on, man.
Yeah, but that's what happens, though. That's what happens.
Yeah, I know.
Too many times.
Yeah, I mean,
they blame you
them all over the place.
Right.
Huh?
I said, yep, and then try to blame you for it.
Well, yeah, because we got a lot of folks. They got a habit of they won't read, they won't do no research, they won't do nothing on their own. They want to call you and just ask you. And you give them some advice, then they run and do that. And after they do that, they sit back and all the documents and stuff and the books and stuff they're supposed to read and read none of that and looked at none of that. And we're waiting to call you again. Something go wrong. Well, you told me so and so and so and so and so. It's amazing, man. I go through it all the time. On my website, we have different packages and stuff. And once you get that stuff, I'm gonna send it to you. But what I want you to do is I want you to take it and don't just read it and try to hurry up and get to the next piece and read that so you can tell me you done read it and don't know nothing, ain't done no research, ain't looked up noun word, haven't defined anything, and then start asking me, well, okay, where did I start? The documents are designed to tell you where to start if you read them.
Right.
But a lot of folks won't do that. They won't do it. I don't understand it. It's a phenomenon to me, man. I got a whole bookcase I built. I had to build another one and be able to read it. I have books everywhere. I got to start putting some of these books back on the shelf. I'll be reading them, be studying them. So if there's a problem, I'm able to do up stuff off the top of my head. Yeah. I don't have to go get no book off the shelf to do nothing. I type up them documents off the top of my head. When I see where it's supposed to go, they get that and open it up and get to reading that, they be about to have a stroke. Oh my God, what is this? Good day. What? Give it to a lawyer, see what they say. A lawyer give back to them. We don't want none of that. But if you do the research and you study and you define the words in the documents, because if you're doing a document, you're going to sign that document. You're going to take that document, get it notarized and stamp it, you're going to send it to somebody. That's your contract. You need to know everything you can about that. You need to learn that. You need to be able to define that. And I had a brother one time told me, said, man, brother went in a courtroom and gave filed the documents in the case. The judge got the documents and looked at them and said, man, this is beautiful. He said, did you do that? Yes, sir. He said, wow, man, it's beautiful, it's colorful. And oh, man, I've never seen such a beautiful document. He said, you got right down here under the bottom down here, it says, all rights reserved. What does that mean? And the brother said, well, that's part of the document. That means I'm reserving my rights. He said, yeah, but what does it mean, though? It's the rights of being reserved. He said, okay, well, you got on behind that, without prejudice. What does that mean? He didn't know that either. He didn't know it.
Right.
That's a shame, man. You got a document, that's your contract. If you're going to send a contract somewhere, you need to know exactly what's in that contract. If somebody questions you about what's in that contract, then you should be able to explain that to them. Now, when it comes to all rights reserved and without prejudice, what may be a good idea, if you are putting that on a document, then you need to put under there what that means.
Mm.
You need to define it in the document.
Mm.
When it says all rights reserved without prejudice, you need to define that and put it all in a nutshell right there so they can read it. And after you say it, here's the definition of what it means, so you even have to ask me, here go in your hands. And if you do ask me, I can't wait to tell you for the record.
Mm.
There's a lot of things you can do. You could take one document and remove information from one document and put it in another document to make your contract say what you want it to say, because that's how you go enforce it. It's your contract.
Sure do.
Well, how we get in trouble is we get contracts from other people, and we don't read that either. And the next thing you know, we getting this outrageous bill. And where did it come from? Read the contract. I didn't agree to this. Read the contract. They got your signature right there. So you mean to tell me you signed something you didn't read? Who fault is that? Police been guilty of this too now. Don't get it twisted now. The police done been guilty. Gave a man a ticket. He wrote on it, all rights reserved. The cop got it and signed it. And they got in the courtroom. The judge say, whose signature is here? He said, this your signature right there? And the police would say, yeah. He said, well, what does that say under the Bible that? That all rights reserved without prejudice. Why everything but a fool? But it's amazing, man. Read your contract. If you got a contract, read it, understand it before you send it to anybody so that you can enforce it.
Indeed. Be
able to elaborate on anything that they come out about that contract. Now, if you know who you are, and you let them know that you know who you are, and they're sure that you know you are, then they don't ask you no questions, because they're scared you go tell them. They're afraid you're going to tell them.
True.
So contract is very, very powerful, and we should practice doing up some contracts. You know, something happened out there in them streets or something, you're supposed to be able to come home, sit down, formulate some contracts, go through the motion of getting them signed and notarized and stuff, go straight to the print shop, go get your 4 copies of it, and go to the post office, send it to them certified mail or registered mail or however you're going to do it, and mark your calendar so you'll be able to roll the next boom. You know, get that fight taken care of before you ever get inside the courthouse. You know, the only reason you go in the courthouse is when you done won. That's the only reason you go in the courthouse is when you done won. That's the way I see it.
Right.
Not when you spin the fight, when you done won.
Right.
You do everything on paper.
Right. So your process would be to send it to the clerk of court. Whoever it is, it depends on whoever it is that you're dealing with. Right. In this case, I was dealing with the tax collector of the clerk of courts down here. So I addressed the clerk of courts and attention dealing with him as a man. Mm-hmm. Right.
So if push come to shove and I had to sue somebody, I'm suing the tax collector's office, and this is the man that's accepted the documents and failed to come out for the bail on the rebuttal of a lawful affidavit. And a lawful affidavit stands as truth. An unrebutted affidavit stands as truth, point blank.
Mm-hmm.
So once he get that bomb in his lap, he throw it in the garbage can, then, somebody in trouble.
Got you.
That's how I deal with them.
I got you, Brother Tarhaka. Well, we got a few minutes left. Anything you want to say in closing?
Well, I just want to say, when it comes to trust, before you attempt to run out and set up a trust, learn everything that you possibly can learn about a trust. When it comes to contract law, learn everything you can about contract law. Start with the history of everything that you're going to be dealing with, because that's where your power lies. And practice when you're formulating your contracts, define every word in your contracts. So when you put that contract down, you're able to stand there without that contract in your hand and fire on all 8 cylinders to the point where they don't want you to say nothing else no more, because you're shooting too good up in here. That's all I want to say about that.
Well, that was plenty. That was beautiful right there, Brother Tarhaka. We appreciate you coming on once again. And I'm going to play your commercial one more time. Everybody can get in contact with you, because you know that's what we have to do. Make sure we support each other. And here you go.
That's right.
One more time.
Okay.
Our foreclosure killer package not only comes along with the necessary documents that you need, but also your very own personal coach to walk you through the process of saving your home. If you've been foreclosed on already, or if you've received documents stating that you'll be foreclosed on, or if you are already in the court fighting a foreclosure, contact Tarhaka Amaana El Bey, 904-303-9061. Also visit our website at www.newdebtelimination.com. Stop foreclosure on your property. Let's stop this unlawful practice. Contact me, 904-303-9061, before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
All right, everybody heard Brother Tarhaka say contact him, and also make sure it's before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because he ain't taking all them late calls, y'all. Because y'all know how y'all do. Y'all wait till 10 and 11, 12 o'clock at night to call somebody about something. So Brother Tarhaka said, make sure y'all get it in by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right.
All right, well, my brother, I certainly appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you, Brother Tarhaka.
All right, y'all take care. Good night, everybody.
All right, good night. And in closing, y'all, you know what? You got to play it.
Warning. You have entered the realms of the gods. So give us your mind and your full attention.
So you say you deal with esoteric information? I never heard of such.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Alim El Bey dropping jewels every day.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Alim El Bey dropping jewels every day.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk.
Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. So you claim to be a god?
Damn right I'm a god. The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, god of the universe. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that.
So tune in or lose, friend. All strategies apply mathematically. The information he drop is real powerful. So get your notepad, it's more than an hour full. Watch your jaw, the crew is watch us talk. Indigenous to the land wherever we stand. First world order, we bringing it home in the first quarter. Invisible lines don't apply, we cross borders. Silly rabbit, knowledge for gods. No matter where you reside, lodge, temple, or mosque. So don't fret or proceed with hesitation. Just tune in to Blog Talk to get the information. Peace.
Peace to the gods. You already know, man.
Yo. Bohemian wizardry, you fraud MCs be killing me. The enemy is close, we both lies on our identity. I build like he who stepped, architect like Imhotep. Son had the sun himself, the guard deadly with the art. I spit dark with a slit heart. You can feel it in your bone marrow before the shit starts. Standing in the cold with a scroll, that was written in gold. Behold the old glimpse that was never untold. Infinite like the 8-7 dwelling in your melon. No felon, though the unrighteous say that I'm rebellious. I'm primal, my rhymes suicidal. I worship no idols. My style of all the gems going down in a spiral. You stuck in your root. My intelligence past my coup. The God is the truth. Every time I step in the booth, you stepped on the stoop. Got scooped and swooped in my loot. Do the knowledge, whack them seeds, get played like flu.
It was the son of us all, a gift from the gods who rule, flying through the sky with golden wings. Submerged into the light, knighted by the golden king with the scepter of justice. Melanin cultivating chi until we are Ethereans, brightly becoming one with the righteous sun. Solar, souls are raw, magnificent glow with unconditional love. Scattered rays for days from the heavens above. Soul below, the souls is trapped in the lowest depths of hell, incarnated into 76 trillion cells. To break free, we must be refined, masculine and feminine properties combined.
The devil is the author of confusion. 183,000 divisions and religions, denominations, sects, codes, schisms, and isms. Though isn't it written in the Bible that Jesus spoke in parables? The scriptures and gospels aren't just historical. Many passages weren't meant to be taken literal. Most of it is allegorical, based on esoteric principles. Baptist versus Methodist, Pentecostal holiness versus Jehovah's Witness, Mormons versus Seventh-day Adventists, skeptics, atheists, and agnostics, divine and cosmic tactics of the reptilians, lower fourth-dimensional aliens. So beware of the draconian Satanists. Though their aim is to imprison all true beings through ignorance. Though we crush the head of Leviathan, battle mind control, subliminal suggestion, brainwashing indoctrination, using religions, politics, education, economics, health and labor, entertainment and war, yo, sex and law. In this chessboard game called life, we've all been pawns. Puppets on strings controlled by demonic spawns. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God.
Only T-Mobile gives you unlimited data with taxes and fees included, so you save hundreds a year. And get 2 lines for just $100 a month, all in with AutoPay. And right now, harness the power of unlimited with a Samsung Galaxy S8. It's the fastest Galaxy ever, so it deserves the fastest and most advanced LTE network. Why wait? Switch today. Only at T-Mobile.
Top 3% of users greater than 30 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds. Price includes sales tax.
Only T-Mobile gives you unlimited data with taxes and fees included, so you save hundreds a year. And get 2 lines for just $100 a month, all in with AutoPay. And right now, harness the power of unlimited with a Samsung Galaxy S8. It's the fastest Galaxy ever, so it deserves the fastest and most advanced LTE network. Why wait? Switch today. Only at T-Mobile.
Top 3% of users greater than 30 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds. Price includes sales tax.